In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins interviews Seth Godin, exploring how to overcome resistance, stop hiding, and begin creating a meaningful life by picking yourself. They discuss the nature of resistance, how to manage fear and social pressures, the importance of hard work and consistency, and strategies for getting started on personal and professional goals despite obstacles. The conversation weaves through themes of authenticity, perfectionism, status, and the power of community in building a life that matters. Seth Godin emphasizes that resistance is a natural and necessary part of doing important work. If there's no resistance, the task might not be meaningful enough. This resistance often manifests as internal noise or fear that holds people back from pursuing their goals, whether they're creative pursuits, lifestyle changes, or career moves. The key is to start exactly where you are, rather than waiting for a perfect moment or external validation. Progress is about making intentional choices to improve your circumstances, even when the situation seems difficult or unsolvable. Godin introduces a crucial distinction between problems and situations. Problems are challenges with solutions, though solutions might be uncomfortable or unpopular. Situations, by contrast, are realities that cannot be changed and must be accepted. How we frame these realities influences whether we take action or remain stuck. The difference between using the word but and in our self-talk also changes our mindset. But tends to cancel out or excuse the effort, whereas and holds space for multiple truths simultaneously, allowing us to acknowledge challenges without giving up on progress. A central theme of the conversation is the idea of picking yourself. Godin highlights that societal systems often want you to wait for permission or an invitation to act, to be chosen by others. Instead, he advocates for self-authorizing your efforts and creations. Whether it's writing a book or starting a project, the barrier is often the awkwardness of saying, "Here, I made this." By choosing yourself first, you reclaim agency and freedom, liberating yourself from waiting for others to validate your worth or effort. Fear, the primal motivator, underpins much of the resistance people experience. It interacts with our desire for affiliation, belonging, and status ranking among peers, often driving us to conform or hide. Godin explains that people around us may unconsciously resist our changes because they fear what it means for the relationship or dynamic. Understanding these emotional drivers can help us empathize with others and prepare ourselves for inevitable pushback when we step into new roles or ways of being. The episode challenges the traditional notion of hard work as physical labor and redefines it as the mental and emotional effort to face discomfort, be honest, and innovate. Hard work means engaging with important tasks that may be scary or exhausting, but have lasting value. This kind of work fuels personal fulfillment and dignity by allowing us to contribute meaningfully, whether in careers, creative endeavors, or relationships. To overcome paralysis caused by overwhelming goals, Godin introduces the concept of the smallest viable audience and smallest viable piece of art. Instead of aiming for grand, sweeping actions, starting small, affecting just one person or producing a modest work, is enough to create momentum. This approach makes picking yourself accessible and reduces fear by lowering the stakes on initial efforts, helping people move from thinking about a change to actually doing it. Contrary to popular belief, Godin calls authenticity a crock, suggesting that what people really want is consistency rather than raw, unfiltered self-expression. Being consistent in showing up as the best version of yourself, especially in professional or public settings, is more valuable and dependable than constantly trying to be authentic in every mood or moment. Authenticity, when mistaken for permission to act impulsively or erratically, becomes an excuse for poor behavior rather than genuine connection. A significant barrier to starting or completing projects is perfectionism, which often serves as a shield against vulnerability and failure. Godin doesn't encourage just ship it recklessly, but advocates for merely ship it, delivering work that meets the necessary standard or spec. Once the minimum quality is achieved, the focus should shift to moving forward instead of endlessly tweaking. This mindset counters paralysis and promotes continuous progress and growth. The conversation underlines the power of intentional narrative and role-playing. Becoming the person you want to be isn't about waiting to feel ready, but about acting as that person consistently, even if it feels awkward at first. By embodying the best versions of ourselves in daily life and decision making, we gradually internalize that identity and change how others perceive us as well. Seth Godin stresses that discussing goals and challenges with trusted peers or cohorts is critical to sustaining change. Having others who hold you accountable and challenge you to grow creates a supportive environment where resistance is met with encouragement and honest feedback. Community and the quality of those we surround ourselves with greatly influence our ability to build and maintain the life we want. Status seeking and material comparisons are reframed as distractions fueled by fear, often rooted in childhood experiences of exclusion. Naming and acknowledging these motivations strips them of power and allows for a conscious redirection of energy toward values that truly matter. Honest conversations within families around financial realities and priorities can diffuse unhealthy competition and align efforts toward meaningful goals. Creating work or making changes without attachment to outcomes is described as a generous act. When you create or take action without demanding approval, gratitude, or validation from others, you free yourself from the tyranny of external opinions. This mindset allows the work to become a gift, regardless of its reception, fostering resilience and ongoing creative courage. Resistance signals that you are close to meaningful change. Instead of avoiding it, thanking resistance for highlighting what's important can transform procrastination into motivation. This shift reframes resistance as a compass, guiding you to prioritize and engage deeply with the work that will most impact your life and those you care about. True leadership and making an impact stem from consistent action and behavior. Rather than dramatic acts or moments of authenticity, sustained showing up and doing the work builds trust, influence, and results. This principle holds true across professional, creative, and personal realms, underscoring the central value of reliability over momentary flashes of inspiration. The episode closes with an invitation to make a ruckus, which isn't about creating chaos, but about doing work that genuinely matters and serves people who care. It's a call to focus your energy on meaningful contributions rather than chasing applause or striving to please everyone. Even a small impact on a few people can build momentum toward a fulfilling and influential life.